So next we're going to review Hamilton. Next.
Hamilton and
the musical was recently released on Disney Plus.
Let me just start by saying this. Look, I'm not going to tell you the plot of Hamilton. I want to talk. I'll talk about I'll talk about how good it is. But this is something that is just released. It hasn't been out for 20 years, like the past two things we reviewed. Do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen it, you can get a free trial subscription to Disney Plus.
1 week trial. 1 week is definitely enough time to go and watch Hamilton.
Go watch Hamilton. It's about
out of this world.
It's almost 3 hours, and it is phenomenal.
It's 2 hours 40 minutes.
I think so. Yeah. Get on there, watch it.
It's,
honestly,
so
you may
good.
want to even just pause this right now and go watch it.
Yeah, it's so good.
We're not going to get into spoilers for that though, because
it just
fresh.
came out.
It just came out. You need to check it out for yourself. We're going to give a very generalized review of this one. We might later on at some point give a more detailed, discussion on the musical. But do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's phenomenal. You will not regret it, and we're going to get straight into the numbers and start crunching these bad boys.
Yeah, let's go.
Lighting.
So first up is lighting.
Phenomenal.
Really good. Now, it's hard to compare cinematic lighting to theatrical lighting.
Yeah.
But still, it was lit very well.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen plays where, characters weren't in the light when they were supposed to be. Mm-hmm. This doesn't have that problem.
Nobody looked flat.
Nobody
looked flat. It was very dynamic. The way their lighting placements was great. Their use of the colored lights that they used were really well done. Mm-hmm. They had them, the way that they were choreographed with, the rest, which I guess that'll be more in choreography, but the way that the lights were choreographed in, the lighting was spectacular from the beginning.
It's out of this world.
You want to jump straight into giving it a rating for you? What do you think?
For me, I give the lighting probably an 8.5.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I was gonna say 8.5 to 9, so I can meet you at 8.5.
Yeah.
We can even do 8.75 if you want.
Yeah, I'm down to go 8.75. That sounds fair.
Direction.
I give like a 9.5. It was really good.
Listen, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he's not the one who directed it.
He didn't direct it.
He didn't direct it.
He wrote it.
He wrote it, starred in it. But his fingerprints are all over it.
Yeah.
What's the director's name? Do you remember his name?
I can remember.
I'm gonna look that up. But the direction was just fantastic.
Yeah. The performance that they all gave was out of this world.
The way they moved from scene to scene,
yeah, the emotion in some of those lines was chilling.
Thomas Kail.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
did a fantastic job.
He pulled the best out of everybody. He really did. And I think a lot of that has to do with
incredible.
Now, I do think of pulling the best out of everybody. A lot of that has to do with this was a production that had care in it. This was a very passionate production, and they you can tell that everybody wants to be there. This isn't just a paycheck for them.
Yeah.
They're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah. Everybody cared more than you can imagine.
And I think the direction was just phenomenal. He pulled,
yeah,
and direction has to go with where people are when they're singing and dancing, and where they are on the stage, their commanding presence. How do you get those out of people? And casting, the casting for this was phenomenal.
Dude, the casting was out of this world.
90% of directing is casting, and he, God. Everybody, in my opinion, the best casting in the whole thing was George Washington. I think.
Yeah.
We finished watching it, and all I could do was sit there and think, "Wow, I didn't know George Washington was black." Because his performance, it's so spot. He commanded the screen. He felt like a general, you know.
Yeah, he did.
And it was
fantastic. Like I said,
Christopher Jackson is his name.
Yes.
And dude,
I think I said give it a 9.5.
They're casting for the guy that played Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, dude. I loved him as Lafayette. Yeah. But when he came out as Thomas Jefferson, I was just like, bro, okay?
Yeah.
Dude, fucking work, man.
The direction was fantastic. So, what do you think?
I give it a 9.5.
9.5? I have to agree. The writing... Oh my God.
Dude, okay.
The 10, maybe a 10, honestly.
So basically... it was a shit ton of songs. It's a musical.
It's a musical. There were never scenes of people just talking.
No one ever spoke. They always in sections of the play where it wasn't a song, they still sang their lines.
They were rapping
or rapped their lines. They never spoke.
And those are still music. That's still songs.
Yeah,
There's a whole conversation between Hamilton and George Washington. And right before Hamilton comes in, Aaron Burr is talking to George Washington, and there's just a conversation, a big conversation, a long conversation, and it's all rapping, it all rhymes, and it never feels gimmicky.
Yeah, at no point does it feel gimmicky.
Never felt gimmicky. I didn't feel like, oh my god, yeah, they're trying to rhyme. It
was
all
like
flowed,
it was supernatural,
organic,
a very straightforward flow. Mm-hmm. Also, because just like bars.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I give it a 10. Give it a 10. Writing was out of this world.
I mean, seriously, phenomenal. And if you even just break down the song lyrics, because here's the deal: it's not like regular songs. Because regular songs follow the very typical. I sing something kind of obscure about this. I talk about this. I talk about this. Chorus, verse, the end. These, it's a play. Yeah. So they're singing about things that are actively happening and are important. And so every song is telling a story through dialogue. And they're all, I mean, it's amazing. If you were to take it,
I won't go into detail, but for a play that revolves, that happens from, was it 76 to 89? 1776 to...
I think so, yeah.
For a play that happens back in the 1700s, very topical. Listen, it's very topical.
And for a play that takes place back in the 1700s, to have a modern musical style, it never felt out of place.
Not a single time.
At all. And in fact, if you were to take the dialogue and you were to take the music out, and the dialogue that they wrote as the music was the dialogue they had to speak in the play, oh, that's unfortunate right there.
But yeah, no,
But the dialogue, let's say they took out the music, it would feel like Shakespeare. Because Shakespeare had a lot of rhyming, you know, and it just fit perfectly. It really did.
I give it a 10. Writing a 10. It was out of this world.
Yeah. Character development. Again, I mean, it was great.
Really good. I wouldn't give it a 10.
I wouldn't give that one a 10.
I would give...
Oh, shit. That was my beer fizz.
Okay, so character development. I liked it. We see rivals become friends and then back to rivals. We see...
friends come and go. I mean...
Yeah. We see... a growing love for certain characters. We see heroes with follies.
Yep.
It's
that they don't have immediately.
Yeah.
It's not something they just have. It's something that they develop into. Yeah,
something they develop
into. We see characters. Great. We see characters that start off kind of very like aspiring and very much like ambitious. And then throughout the play or the musical, their ambitions change, and their drive for that ambition also changes, which is really good development. I think honestly, I would almost want to include this in the writing, but I won't. I don't think it's weak though. I think it's really good. Like an 8.5 at the lowest is what I would go for.
I'll give it an 8.75.
Okay, yeah, I can get behind that. Meaning behind the story, 10. I mean, it's got to be. It was really good.
Yeah.
They talk about forgiveness. Yeah. Which the forgiveness, I mean,
the song.
Yeah, but don't want to get into details about what the context is. They talk about forgiveness. They talk about freedom. They talk about personal conviction. They talk about. They also talk about contradiction. They talk about not saying what you mean and meaning what you say, like standing behind what you've done. They talk about cowardice. They talk about pride too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good meanings, and they that none of them feel kind of like just thrown in there for the purpose of being in there.
Yeah. All of the meanings are good, and all of the meanings are well played out.
Yeah, I would probably give that the same score as the character development,
which was 8.75.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
We skipped one by accident.
Okay, we'll just go back to it.
Pacing.
I
mean, never joke.
Yeah, it was great.
Phenomenal.
It was great. At no point was I just like, okay. I was like on the edge of my seat
the entire time.
From when, so at the beginning of the film, it starts with applause and then announces like, ladies and gentlemen, Hamilton. From then until the credits rolled, I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Like it was.
It's great,
God, dude.
It's great.
Yeah, I give it I would give it a 10. I'd give it like a 9.5.
Man, I really want to give it a 10 though. I think my opinion that take aside from the spectacular, perfect dialogue and song lyrics. That's the next best thing about it, is just how just snappy. It never dulled. There was never a hiccup. There was never
there definitely
any point.
Was never a
I never checked the time. I never yawned. I mean, I would just everything one after another, and it rose and fell. It never just went and stopped and went and stopped. I mean, it was so good, and the way that like
incredible.
Every song. Most songs, they don't just start; they build into it.
It's not just like, okay, let me give this line, cue the music, we're singing a song now. It was like you said, it like the scene leads into the song.
Yeah. You say 9.5, I say 10. The lowest I'm willing to compromise is 9.75.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Diversity. I think that's kind of the only place, and it's kind of, we're gonna catch some flack for this. It's essentially all black people.
There is
a few white dancers.
There are a couple. There's like one character that is not. She I'm pretty sure she was white.
Yeah, she was.
Eliza was white.
Yes.
But everyone else I'm pretty sure was black, which is more diverse than having a cast full of white people.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really too different.
Now, I do think that was on purpose. Obviously, it was definitely on purpose. Yeah. It was definitely on purpose. And the thing is, the casting may have been that way, but the characters, I don't believe, were. You get what I mean? Because there were black people playing, historically white figures.
Yeah.
But not just historically white, historically French. White French.
Yeah.
White French, and that's about it. Yeah, but still.
And white American.
Yeah,
white American, white French.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh no, there were 3 white characters. King George was white.
King George was white.
King George is a character, and the dude who read the Declaration from King George, he was white, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
But
and then of course, like you said, there were background dancers and singers that were also white.
But I think the diversity is, it's not super diverse, but it's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, it's not super diverse, but that's on purpose, and it's handled very
maturely.
Well.
Yeah, it's not done to be insulting.
Yeah, no,
and it's not done, and it's not done out of not being aware of your casting choices. Mm-hmm. It is aware, intentional, and there's a purpose behind it and a meaning behind it that helps relate it to modern context. So honestly, it's
I
pretty
feel like
good.
I would give the diversity like a 7, but a 7 with an asterisk.
Why not just
the asterisk being that it was on purpose?
So what if we bump it up to 7.5? Give it the asterisk is that extra 0.5.
I still feel like it should have the asterisk. That way people know.
Well, then I would say a 7.25.
I'll go with a 7.5. I'll go with a 7.5, like you said. I think that is fair.
And I'll give it a little asterisk.
But still with the asterisk that
asterisk.
It was portrayed on purpose.
Sound is great.
Oh, dude, it was fucking crazy good.
I think.
Oh God.
I will say this. There were times when I couldn't hear the people rapping or singing as well because the orchestra was loud. That is important. There were times where we had subtitles on. My fiance has to have subtitles, and so there were times when I did look at the subtitles, see what they exactly were saying, because I couldn't quite understand it. Because, well, one, they're rapping really quickly at points. I mean, like Busta Rhymes quick.
Yeah, there's one song called "Guns and Ships," which is about Lafayette, and he goes hard.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's amazing.
It's just one of the best songs in the play. To me.
That combined with the music, that combined with the music being loud, I couldn't. I sometimes couldn't understand.
I didn't have that problem, but. It is founded. Yeah. It is founded.
And I did have to...
You have a good point.
And I did have to look at the subtitles.
Have that problem.
Right. And I was just thinking to myself, what if I was watching this live? Which, I mean, the whole episode would be great, but I don't have subtitles to tell me exactly what they're saying. If I was seeing it for the first time live, I might miss important beats.
No, I saw Spider-Man on Broadway in New York, and I did have that problem with Spider-Man. Not a lot, like a couple times, but I did have that problem.
Now, I will say this, though. When it came to the really important bits of either exposition or just really important dialogue between characters talking to each other, it was a little bit slower, and the music wasn't as loud. So that it was you could clearly hear what they were saying. It was only in the parts where it was more like for flourishes. But, still, for sound, I would give it a 9.
That's fair, yeah.
Only because there were times when I had to do that. And maybe it's just my TV. But based on how I was able to watch it, I would give it a 9.
Yeah.
Production design, out of this world.
9.5.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
And the set.
Yep.
It wasn't... I haven't seen Wicked because I was robbed of my Wicked viewing experience. That's a story I'll tell another time. I have heard... I know a lot of people that have seen Wicked. And they say that Wicked, its set... is like mind-bending. Like, how the fuck do you do this kind of stuff? Damn. And Hamilton was nothing like that. It was nothing over the top. It was simple and it was well done.
Very effective.
I really liked, probably my favorite part of the set was the middle of the stage was basically like 2 rings that could rotate. And they used that to do a couple very certain things throughout the film.
Very cool things.
And it was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, 9.5. 9.5. Great production design. Costumes out of this world. Costumes
fantastic.
Were great.
Fantastic.
I loved King George's costume. I thought it was awesome.
Again, though, kind of a comment like what you said with the Patriot. They did have the blue uniforms.
They did.
Before it would have been time.
Well, the thing is that this covered all the way to the end of the war. So at some point, of course, we would have had the Navy uniforms.
Yeah.
But in this, we do like right from the start have the Navy uniforms.
Music. 10.
Oh, dude, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
If we could go higher than 10, we would. We can't.
Yeah, we can't because that's just not a thing.
That's our limit. That's our limit.
But golly,
10 with an
so
asterisk. It's the highest 10 on here. There's another 10 for writing. The music, though, I mean...
music is better than the writing.
The music, it's if I could give higher than the 10, I would,
I really would, yeah. If we could turn that up to 11, I'd turn that up to 11.
But we can't. But 10.
10 out of 10.
10. It's phenomenal.
We watched it.
We cried multiple times
when it came out. Yeah, when it came out, we watched it.
Yeah, like we all got together, had a little 4-person party.
The only music I have listened to since watching that has been the soundtrack.
Mostly, yeah.
I mean, if for some reason you can't watch it, you can't do a free trial for Disney Plus, whatever. Listen to the soundtrack. Well, it's funny. Just fire.
It's funny that you're wearing a Rick and Morty shirt because, like, right before we started the podcast, I put on "Goodbye Moon Men."
Yeah, goodbye.
So outside of that, it's the only music.
It's so good, dude.
It really is.
It's fire.
Tasty. I mean, you just can't get enough of it. And again, no song drags. They're all bangers.
They're all
bangers. And they reference each other.
They do.
I mean, it's literally a concept. It's like a 50-song concept album.
There's one song. I don't remember the name of the song. It might just be throwing away my shot. So part of the lyrics is about how Hamilton is not going to throw away his shot to be more, and that song is referenced a couple times.
Yeah.
Helpless,
and not just against him.
Yeah, not just for him.
Yeah.
Helpless is referenced a few times, and there was another that was the 10 Commandments of the Duel is referenced.
Another one was George Washington's. When they introduce him,
outgunned, outman. Yeah, that's referenced a couple times.
They did that one a couple times.
Yeah,
I mean, but it never feels cheap. Like they're just rehashing. It always is playing into each other.
It's like breathing a different life into this already incredible song.
Honestly, what you're gonna want to do is right before you like start the show. Just get on your phone or whatever. Go ahead and get it to start downloading the songs, and then you watch the show.
Yeah. Go ahead and start the download, and then watch it. And then if you regret downloading that album, let us know because fuck you.
Yeah. Put it in the comment section below so that we can like trash you for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna dox you on that one.
Yeah. It's so good. But yeah. So
they live at 557 Bullshit Avenue.
Oh God.
So yeah, no, 10 out of 10. And I'm going to go ahead and get that total score.
We got one more.
No.
Choreography. We were into choreography.
Did we not? I thought we already did that
one. No. You mentioned choreography in the lights.
Yeah, I put 9.5 down for that, but let me erase
that. Let's
talk about it. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it.
great dancing, but it's more than that.
Yeah.
There are a couple choreographed duel scenes and some fight scenes, some battles.
The final scene is choreographed. Honestly, my favorite choreography was the final scene. I mean, just the way they do it all. I mean, the whole thing.
We won't tell you what it is.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Oh Lord, is it good?
The choreography in this is spectacular. Second only to the music.
Yeah.
But it doesn't drag at all. It doesn't. It's not a step behind. It really isn't. It's great.
It's pretty good. I give it a 10.
Yeah, I would too.
Very good choreography. Again, it's not like crazy dancing ballet, but it's just the way they use the choreography is another level.
There's a song, and it does at the end of it. It does the stereotypical, one person in the center of the stage with their hands up. Except instead of having one person with their hands up, it's one person holding a sword in a commanding position.
Yeah.
And it just, the choreography, and it's great with the conversations they're having. They're moving naturally. It doesn't feel like they're moving to the beat, even though they are. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like they're moving organically, just walking and doing their thing. I mean, it really is just
out
phenomenal.
Of this world,
oh,
man.
Especially the Lafayette number. The choreography.
Guns and ships.
He starts off on I'm not going to go too far into it, but he starts off on a table, just throwing his hands up, doing crazy shit.
Everybody give it up for your favorite fighting French, man. And then he just launches himself.
It's phenomenal. Dude. How he didn't fall off of that, I'll never know. It's great. It really was. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Gotta be.
Yeah, hands down.
Now, I'm going to give the
final
the average, yeah. All right, I have the average. The average is 9.2.
That's pretty
not
good.
Bad at all. Yeah, that's good.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. I would maybe give it a 9.5. That was my own personal rating, but still, 9.2.
9.2, very fair.
Universal acclaim. That would on Metacritic that would indicate universal acclaim.
Yeah, it's won so many awards. Yeah. Just check it out. We'll leave it at that.
Yep.
And
get yourself a Disney Plus free trial.
Do the free trial. And again, if for some reason you can't do that, the whole soundtrack is on YouTube, Spotify, wherever. Definitely experience this in some way, in any way that you can.